Hey everybody, welcome to Cowardly Dog Halloween, Day 9. So, it's time for Season 2. So, this season is the usual, starts out with the usual, beginning with the new Monsters of the Week. And at the end of each episode, there's a brand new title card. So, today we're going to talk about, the Magic Tree of Nowhere, Robot Randy, The Curse of Shirley, and Cards in the Big Stinkin City. So the first episode of Season 1 is The Magic Tree of Nowhere. The Magic Tree of Nowhere is quite possibly one of my favorite Season 2 characters. So, and the reason why I'll tell you in a minute. And Robot Randy. Robot Randy's pretty good too. So, this episode opens up with Muriel getting curtains and getting a bunch of seeds. Now, these seeds become an important role in this episode. Which we'll talk about in a minute. So, Eustace sees that they're worthless, tosses them out, Curtis gets them, and plants them. Obviously, they're magic seeds, so these magic seeds become a big tree within minutes. So what does this tree do exactly? Is it evil? No, it's good. So this tree grants wishes of anyone who asks of it. How does it know? It just does. So the first thing that they ask for is Muriel. Muriel asks for a new oven since her oven is busted. It just doesn't bake very well anymore. And the tree gives it to her. Of course, she thinks Curtis is the one who gave it to her, but nope. The second time to get somebody something is when Curtis is outside playing with this little scooper, this little thing. I think and the thing breaks, so he wishes for a new one, but instead of getting a smaller one, he gets a bigger one. Now Eustace obviously gets jealous because now the stupid dog can provide for them, but he can't. Of course, he goes out to see a movie on the way. When Muriel asks that they wishes they could get to see a movie, the tree provides for him. So Eustace decides it's time to take the tree down, but Muriel stops him. So eventually, Eustace makes his wish. He wishes that Muriel's had a big enough head to make her understand, make her realize that he's more important than this tree. So she gets what the doctor calls the worst case of bully. I don't know where he gets this from. Again, this is the same doctor who told Muriel to keep soaking it in Night of the Werewolf. So Eustace decides it's time for that tree to go. Courage goes out and asks the tree for help. And obviously, this is a magic tree. And it really does tell him how to cure Muriel, who in 3 days he'll be cut down. But anything worth fighting for is worth living for. So Courage digs him up. So Courage goes into the barn and sees Eustace sharpening his axe to get ready to chop down the tree. So Courage goes and builds a moat around the tree. And this is obviously what he was doing before when he got the seeds. So then he puts in a Loch Ness monster who has a thing for Danny Boy. Yeah, it's silly. So Eustace tries to attempt to chop the tree down, but every time he gets stopped by the Loch Ness monster. And he goes from trying to march in there to catapult himself, and then Courage gets a call from the doctor saying that he has the cure, but he doesn't have the cure for Muriel's condition. He has a cure for a broken leg, which I don't even think he has. So Courage goes back. Before Courage goes there, Eustace goes up the tree with his axe. And she asks him, will this make you feel important? And by the time Courage gets back, the tree's been chopped down. Probably the saddest moment in Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was just a freaking tree, and he chopped it down. So the tree tells Courage that he has the cure. All Courage has to do is take all the leaves from the tree and mix it with pure hornet's honey. I don't know how that works, as I don't think hornets really do produce honey, but he does so and cures Muriel of her condition. Of course, they go back out, and the tree is always sprouted. A new flower which will grow. And Eustace gets what he deserves. He gets the same condition. Muriel, is the tree grown back yet? The next episode is The Curse of Shirley. Now, I think that's the name of it. Yep. No, wait, no, Robot Randy. Robot Randy is another character that I really like. So, Robot Randy is an alien. A robotic alien. Who can't do anything right. When the episode starts, he and his robot pals are shooting down mountains. But Randy doesn't want to shoot down mountains, as he's a pacifist. So they tell him to go and conquer a planet. So I'll sell them. And he goes to the middle of nowhere. And obviously he goes to conquer. And he basically flattens the water pump. So he demands, that they start working on getting that planet ready for the invasion, which is going to happen. So they start working, and Courage starts digging, and so do they, and he gets a little woozy, and he smashes Eustace's foot. And this entire time, Randy keeps, shooting Eustace as he keeps causing problems. The second time he causes a problem is that when they're making, I guess, a mud pit or a tar pit, and Eustace keeps throwing mud at Courage. And Muriel tells him, don't we have enough problems? And after a while, the robot Randy shoots Eustace again. Eventually, the robot goes to the barn and starts wheeling little reindeer. Like little bitty figurines of reindeer. And this is probably why I like them, because I really do like this episode. So, Kurt sees this, and he shows the reindeer that Randy made to them. Of course, Robot Randy tells them to work more, and then there's a point in the episode where they start pulling up this giant block. Of course, this is where we see all these statues of Robot Randy. So obviously, Muriel starts getting hot, and Chris has to stop in the middle to do something about it. And they drop the giant block, which makes all the statues do a domino effect. So, Chris, he gets mad and tells him he's a failure, and Kurtz decides to challenge him to a dance-off with Muriel and Eustace's lives being in the balance, hung in the balance. So they do the dance-off, and then Randy loses by kind of breakdancing into a wall. And he says he's a failure, and then Kurt shows him the same statue from before. And he's like, I don't want to destroy. I want to little reindeer. And Eustace, being the one that hates those kind of things, says, no, it's a useless thing. And obviously it's not useless. And Kurt says, because shows him that he can use this to make money. So he goes back to his planet and leaves them with all the reindeer he made. And he goes back to his planet, and they recognize him as not a failure. Of course, one of the robots says, yeah, but can he make anything else? And Robot Randy shoots the robot. Ow. Alright, so the next episode is Curse of Shirley. Now, I told you guys before that we would see this character reoccurring every season. And this time, I'll tell you what she's doing this time. So in this episode, see, they are getting ready for Eustace's birthday. And Eustace doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But they hear a knock on the door, and it's Shirley. Now, I don't know why they don't realize it's Shirley from before, but she wants something, and they'll get both her and Courage gets their presents, like a pie, tea set, and Courage gives her his golden tooth. What does Eustace do? He gives her the door. No, I'm not saying he's going to give her a door for her house. No, I'm talking about he slams it in her face. And she then turns, when then curses Eustace, which a big dark cloud is over his head. So this is going to come into play in a few minutes. So, Eustace decided to go back in, and things are happening. I think one point the cloud makes, it just keeps making problems for him. There's a point where he actually I don't remember what happens, but eventually he goes to the roof where he's won't be bugged. But he loses his glasses, so he can't see anything. The guests come, and it's his mom and his doctor. That's all there is, except for Muriel and Courage. So, and at one point, they're watching TV, and he just starts messing with the antenna. I mean, you think it's a monster. So, eventually he does, the party starts, and Muriel tells him to come downstairs. Again, he sees it as a monster, the little smokestack that they have, and he starts strangling, and he falls down and scares off all his guests. So, great. Of course, when he takes Muriel to the top of the thing, and find out he's growing mushrooms. I guess they can't really sow mold. And so Courage goes and looks for Shirley and asks her to lift the curse. So, and she says, I cannot remove it. Only he can. If the only way to lift it is for him to see who he really is. And she gives Courage a mirror, which will show his younger side. So Courage goes back on the roof and accidentally breaks the mirror. But guess what happens? Eustace sees a younger version of himself. He doesn't even need a mirror. And he gives his hat to Courage, thinking he's his younger self. So, and Gus is lifted for now. Anyway, so they go back downstairs, and Eustace has a cold. But by the time Courage finds his glasses, of course Eustace takes back his hat, which induces the curse again. Into the episode. Alright, so Courage in the Big Stinkin' City is probably one of the creepiest episodes. So, in this episode, Muriel has won a sitar playing prize, where she can play a sitar at a concert. So, in New York City. That's why it's called the Big Stinkin' City. So, in this episode, they go to New York City and they find this roach. Now, this roach is evil. This is the only evil monster in the first 4 episodes of the season. So, he throws him the back way and takes him down. And gets Eustace to come with him by telling him he's got hot dogs. And so they go down to his basement, and he shows him around, and he goes in. I don't remember his name, but he wants to be called his short name. I don't remember what his name is, but it says here, I don't know. Bushwick. He doesn't want to be called Bushwick. He wants to be called Swick. So they get down to his basement and he explains everything. He tells them to make themselves at home, and Eustace sees a TV, and it's got 2,000 channels. So Swick decides he tries to go get a package, an evil package. And he tells him, you see that door? You don't want to know what's behind that door. We don't even know what's behind the door, even after the episode ends. Which we'll get in a minute. So, Curtis goes there, and he's followed by a police officer. And when he gets to the place, and there's also two characters that you've seen before in another episode. Remember the demon in the mattress? The two mice from before are seen again. So he gets this destination which is condemned, and each time he opens a door, he sees a new monster. He sees Ghidorah. I'm going to call it that because it does kind of look like Ghidorah. The three-headed dragon from Godzilla. He sees a shark, which makes no sense. It's a cartoon. He sees a little girl playing a violin. But once he turns around, she his ugliest sin. And then finally, he gets to the door that says, the package is here, stupid. And he's giving it to him. And he gets it. So he goes back in the train, and the police officer is still following him. So he throws a donut to him, but the police officer comes back, and they get to the main controls. And the guy sees it's the evil pack. And by the way, there's a flyer. This is out on the newspaper that says the evil package is still at large, which means this package is evil. Why is it evil? We'll talk about what it is in a bit. So he gets to the front of the train, and the train conductor sees it. And he's like, the evil package, and he runs out of the train. So the police officer sees him again, and he sees, oh, runaway train! And by this time, it's almost showtime. So, I forgot to mention that Swick told him that if he's not back by curtain time, it's curtains for Muriel. So eventually, Curtis takes control. Well, he doesn't get control because controls are automatic. So they land right in the middle of the hall, and he gives the package. And guess what's in the package? It's a squeegee. And obviously, since, he dispersed through the thing, he bent it. So, Swick now unlocks the door, and I'll tell what happens to Eustace, because Muriel and Courage go to the top thanks to the train, and Muriel starts playing her sitar for the concert. The police officer stops him. He says, I thought I said no police officers. Oh, by the way, during all this, by the way, Eustace and Bushwick, or Swick, are going over things like boxes of briefs, and Eustace shows that his hair is longer than his. Anyway, so let's get back to the situation. So, we caught, basically gives Swick the boot and calls him Bushwick, which he doesn't want to be called. And Muriel's concert goes well, and we see Eustace flipping through the channels. It's like, $2 shows and still nothing gone. He's all bones. And we just see the door close that the monster was in. Alright, so the next episode we're going to talk about, a couple of next episodes tomorrow, are Family Business, 1,000 Years of Courage, Courage Meets the Mummy, and the Invisible Muriel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe, share. See you tomorrow with more Cowardly Dog Howloween.